students represent the library to the rest of the university. So to have well-trained, engaged student workers in the library was important to us.
Anita Greene was a student at BU. She graduated in 1945 from the College of Practical Arts and Letters.
You know, as librarians, we have lots of ideas and there are passions and concerns, but we're not students. To bring into the library students who could bring their own ideas and passions and concerns and begin to affect what we're doing by bringing new ideas, new voices, was very exciting.
Anita Greene very generously gave this donation, endowing student work at the library. It funds student workers in all departments. It allows us to keep student workers even if they aren't eligible for federal work aid. And we have this very unique program in the Mugar Library Scholars where students are allowed to create culture using their creative skills within the library.
So she would always say to me, what are students doing in libraries today? And I would start telling her about computers and digital information, and she said, no, she would always say, no, Mr. Hudson, I mean, what do student workers do in the library?
I think my supervisor sent in a recommendation and just told me one day, hey, by the way, we nominated you and it looks like you got it, so you're now a Greene Scholar.
The seminars were about library issues, history of libraries, what libraries really are concerned about, issues like freedom of speech and are concerned about banned books, those kinds of issues.
I see libraries as places of creation. What we have is the repository of the human endeavor.
Being a Mugar Library Scholar has introduced me to a lot of the other resources the library has to offer.
I've come to realize that libraries are really, they house a lot of information and they're kind of sanctuaries of information, and that is a bit of a different perspective for me.
Once I say I work for the library and I'm in charge of social media, a lot of ears perk up at that, and using Michelle as reference is always a great thing. So it definitely has given me connections within the university, and I assume that it will give me connections outside of it too.
I remember working with this first student that we hired even before we had this program. I'd say, where did you get this lovely image from? And said, I got this from this thing that we use down at Common. And we'd look it up and I'd say, it's going to cost the library $600 if we want to use that image, because that's the fee for using this image. And it was sort of like, I said, I think you can create something as good as that on your own. And they did, which was one of the first 24-hour posters we had, where we had kind of like a neon type of sign. So we didn't use a photograph, we used a student creating their own work to create something that looked like a neon type of sign.
Being a Mugar Library Scholar means kind of building a bridge between the library and the students and the general population that frequents the library. I think it adds a more human voice to the building.
It's a good synergy between different generations and different kinds of people.
Students are able to use their skills and market the library from their own eyes. So our group kind of functions as a built-in focus group as they see the library and the things that are important to them about the library, they're able to promote to other students.
This year we did a zine for free speech, which was a really exciting project. We get to compile a lot of information from the university and the resources that the libraries have to offer, and then we get to print a whole bunch and distribute them across campus. And it was really exciting to be able to see students all across campus pick them up and read them and interact.
I don't remember Cody's last name, but we had a recycle bin person who was an Anita Greene, and although you wouldn't think it, he became sort of a centerpiece of an early recycle campaign, and he occasionally wore a cape and goggles and went around the library. Superhuman, super powered recycled person emptying the bin. So we got a lot of mileage out of creative people who weren't in the central group.
Something that I've learned while working here is being able to design specifically for a certain space, like the Warren Towers cases or the cases here in the library, and it's been really cool to see something that I've designed that actually goes up in space, because we don't really get to see that in school. You know, usually makes something and it goes right to the professor and then you're done.
We're never given the content to put in our posters. Like, we're given a theme and then you have to come up with something outside of that. So it's really sifting down ideas and like picking one primary idea to go with, even if it wasn't like assigned to me necessarily.
I've just noticed that we have reoccurring events every year, but every year they're completely different and they're filled with newer ideas.
The creativity and the engagement that this group is now able to do with the rest of the campus is pretty amazing. And we still have the big posters, say, down at Warren Towers and around the library. But personally, I'm looking at the video board outside every day.
Now, Mary, we should have some social media here. We've got to have a Facebook page, and we've got to have Twitter, and people saying, well, we could do videos. I mean, all of these ideas came from students, and they actually were the people behind the program and behind how the program developed, and still are, I know.
But you've got Facebook, you've got Instagram. We even dabbled with what's that, Snapchat?
Snapchat.
But I don't begin to understand Snapchat. So the ability to communicate outwardly through social media is, I think, the biggest change that I've seen in the last few years.
I feel like we've grown bigger in size, and also in terms of the opportunities and the way we're broadcasting ourselves has definitely changed.
I think there's a lot of potential for the Mugar Library Scholars. There's so much that the BU libraries have to offer, and that interdisciplinary group of students is definitely going to raise the bar for what the Mugar Library Scholars are making.
I think the program, Anita Greene Scholars, has always been an exploration. It's an exploration of libraries, it's an exploration of students' work, it's an exploration of what's going on at BU, and I think that exploration will continue and will find its own path.